Hey guys, so in this video we are going to be talking about something that I believe every Python developer should know, and it's virtual environments, or venv for short. So I have the documentation here and I'm going to link this in the description below so you can find this as well. And before we jump into virtual environments, we want to make sure that you understand and know what pip is. So pip is just a Python package manager, which is basically just going to be helping us installing packages that others have created. So we're going to take a short look at that. So I have a command line here, and I just want to make sure that I have pip installed. So I'm going to copy this command because I'm on Windows here. So copy this. And as you can see, I have pip installed, but if I didn't have pip installed, I would have to run this command here. So let's just do that, make sure it's upgraded, and yeah, so I'm up to date with my pip. And if you have another operating system, make sure you take a look at this here. And so now that we made sure that pip is installed, let's just talk about what a package is in Python. So basically it's just a package can be a whole bunch of functions, classes, anything that you can just package and put on a repo, which is this py, and you can just put it here and then other people can download it. And there are a whole bunch of packages that people use, and this is just one example here. So pandas is a package that is used for data science, and as you can see here, it has a whole bunch of stars on GitHub. It's something that's really popular. So let's just say that we want to install pandas to our computer. What we can do is just basically say pip install pandas, and it will download everything that we need, and now we can use everything that's inside the pandas library. So it's basically that easy. And as you can see here, it's downloading quite a whole bunch of stuff. So like it's downloading pandas, NumPy, and Python dateutil, all these stuff. So what's really important to know here is that pandas itself has other dependencies. So like there's a package called NumPy, and the developers who created pandas used NumPy, which means that if I want to use pandas, I have to install NumPy as well. But pip takes care of all that, so it knows that pandas uses which version of which package, and it collects us all. And if we want to, we can just run this command pip freeze, and it will give us all the installed packages here. So if I run this, we can see that pandas is installed and 4 other packages here. So basically, that's in short, that's what pip is and how to use it. So we want to talk about virtual environments, but to understand what virtual environments are and why they are really useful for us, I'm just going to be coming with an example just to show what problems can arise if we don't use them. So let's just say here that there's a popular package called Flask, and let's just search for Flask PyPy, and there's another one called Sphinx Python, and this is the Sphinx is a tool that creates a documentation for your code, and Flask is a web application framework. They are both pretty popular. So the point is that let's just see here, we can run a command like pip show Flask. It won't install it, but it will show which packages does Flask depend on. So if we run this, oh no, we have to install this first. So let's just install Flask quickly. And let's run pip show Flask. And now you can see here that Flask has these 4 packages as a requirement here. So let's just install the other package, this Sphinx package. So we can just type in Sphinx and it's collecting a whole bunch of stuff here. This might take a while. But basically the whole point of this is, let's just run pip show Sphinx. So the whole point of this is that to show you guys that there's a requirement for Jinja2 in a case of the Sphinx, and the Jinja2 was a requirement for Flask as well. So let's just search for what Jinja2 is. It's basically a templating language. We don't really have to go into that what that is, but the Jinja2 has a whole bunch of versions here, so a lot of them. And whenever we are installing Flask or this Sphinx framework, we are installing a specific version of the Jinja2. And in this case it worked out, but if there could be a case where the version of Jinja2 that Flask requires is different from the version of Jinja2 that Sphinx requires. And if we are using the Sphinx and the Flask in the same project, well, that's a problem that we will have to solve somehow. But what if we are using the Flask framework and the Sphinx just completely separately in our computer? Then we have the option to just create a virtual environment and separate the projects entirely. So let's just see what the virtual environment is. So if you're on Windows, you can just type in python-m venv, and then we will have to specify the location of the virtual environment that we want to create. So basically you can name this everything, but by convention it's best to just name it venv as well. So let's hit enter, and now we are going to create a virtual environment. And in the meantime, just a little something. So we have installed pandas, Flask and Sphinx here, and it's installed like right next to our global Python installation. And by creating a virtual environment, we are just basically creating a copy of our global Python, but not including the libraries that we have downloaded with the pip. So the environment is created. Let's just see. So we have this here. So it created a folder, and inside this folder we have a whole bunch of stuff which is basically the same as our Python installation. And what we want to do here is just, if we create the virtual environment, we have to activate it basically. So let's just do that. The way we do that is just, if you're on Windows like me, then you can just type in, make sure you're in the same folder that you ran the command in, the creation command, and type in venv/scripts and then /activate and hit enter. So we have here this, in brackets, this venv, which means we are inside the virtual environment, that we have activated the virtual environment. And if you remember, guys, we ran a command here a while back called pip freeze to list the packages that we have installed. So let's just see what we have installed inside the virtual environment. And if I hit enter, it returns nothing because we didn't install anything inside the virtual environment. So let's just install something. Let's just install NumPy. Oh, sorry, I left the installer out. So install NumPy, and it shouldn't take that long. And yeah, it installed. So let's just make sure that we have it. Yes, so we managed to install NumPy here. And just to show you guys that the virtual environment and our global Python packages are completely separate, we are going to leave the virtual environment. We can just type in deactivate, and let's just type pip freeze here, and we actually have NumPy installed, but that's because it was a dependency for another project. So let's just install something else inside our virtual environment. So let's activate that and install, let's say, the requests library. Yes, so let's output the packages, and we have requests 2.24. So let's just deactivate the environment and list the packages. And oh, we have the requests installed as well. Okay, let's just search for some random project here. So browse projects. Let's just say we want something regarding Django, and Scrapey. Let's just install this package. So venv/scripts/activate pip install Scrapey Django item. So make sure it's installed. We have it here, and deactivate the virtual environment. And if I type in pip freeze, it should not be here. So we have Scrapey Django item here, and it should be somewhere here, and we don't have it installed. So that just shows how a virtual environment can help us basically separate projects, so that we don't install packages left and right and then have a whole bunch of conflicts with them. So if you are using virtual environment, it's really important that whenever you are uploading your projects onto GitHub or any version control system, it's not really good if you upload your whole virtual environment, because let's just see, we have installed like 3 packages here, and it's like nearly 70 megabytes, so that's not too light here. So we don't want to install that. Like, how can we make sure that whenever somebody pulls our project from GitHub, they have no idea what to install on their computer if they want to run our project? So what we can do is just, you know, we had this pip freeze command. Well, let's just enter the virtual environment first. So we have this pip freeze command, which outputs all the packages that we are using. So let's say we have a project and we are using these packages, and if someone wants to do something with our project, they will have to install all these packages to make sure that it's working correctly. So what we can do is just basically copy the content of this pip freeze into a file, and this file is called requirements.txt. It's called that by convention. So now we have all these here, and basically we create a gitignore file just to prevent that the virtual environment from uploading to GitHub, and then we have to include this requirements.txt with our project. So let's just see, for example, the GitHub page for the pandas library, source code. As you can see here, they have this requirements-dev.txt, and it includes all the packages that they need. So anyway, guys, that was this for this video, and I hope this helped. I hope you came to an understanding with what virtual environments is and how you should use them. And I make sure to link this in the description of the video, so that if you need anything, if you need any help, you can probably consult this documentation page and solve your problem. If you have a question regarding virtual environments or anything like that, make sure you comment. If you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos. Thank you.